Oh, welcome, welcome, welcome to Black Women in Media. We are so happy to have you here. This is a series from Girl Code Media where we sit down with Black creatives who are shaping film, television, and the digital media landscape, both in front of the camera and behind the camera.
Yes, and these conversations are about inspiration, authenticity, and community because when we uplift one another, we all rise, right? You'll hear stories from directors, actors, writers, crew members, and other creatives who are changing the game in real time.
Yes, yes. And, our goal here is simple. It is to create space, share knowledge, and remind Black creatives everywhere that regardless of when you decide to be a part of this industry, there is definitely space for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi.
Welcome, welcome. Hello, Ada.
Oh, how are you?
Good. I want to start off with your bio. Let's let them know what you've been doing, who you are.
Right? Right? Right, because what she sent us was
We're like,
not.
girl, you are much more than
I know. I
than a
know.
short paragraph. Um,
Aw.
so let me start. Ada Simbo is an actor, writer, producer, educator, activist, and licensed psychotherapist whose passion for storytelling is deeply rooted in both the arts and the healing professions. Born in Sierra Leone, her love for theater sparked in fourth grade while reading Shakespeare, and she's been performing ever since. Her creative journey has spanned theater, dance, and the fine arts, eventually leading her to film about 7 years ago. One visit, that's all it usually takes.
That's all it
One visit to a set, and it was love at first sight. Ada made her film debut in Road Rage, a bleak comedy in 2015, followed by her television debut as Carolyn Towns in Criminals at Work for BET. She later
Mm.
landed a recurring role in the Amazon Prime series Delayed Gratification and recently wrapped filming Leo the Raptor, a short film she also executive produced with director Brian Smith. In addition to her work in entertainment, Ada is an outspoken advocate for mental health and social justice, working as both an educator and therapist to support individuals and families in need. Whether on stage, on screen, or in community spaces, her mission is to uplift, inspire, and heal. Welcome,
Thank
Queen
Ada!
Ada.
Yay!
thank you. Listen, I need you to do my bio when I win my Oscar award.
We will be your forever hype women.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
I love you guys.
Yes. Oh my
Thank you.
gosh.
Thank you. What
So
an honor to
it's
be here.
it's so we've known Ada. Oh my gosh. Ada, we've known each other for a long time.
I
Yes.
think you two
Actually,
knew each
I was,
other
I
she
even got
worked
it.
on
Stages?
stages.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Montgomery County Community
Yeah.
College.
Yeah.
Yup.
Man, before we had kids, before.
Yeah.
MC3. That's what it's
Yeah.
also known
MC3.
as. We've
Amazing.
all been we've all been at MC3. So
Yes.
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 yes. And
Yes.
we also worked with you on stages.
Oh my goodness. What a wonderful experience. What a wonderful experience. Yes. Yes.
You were just like, you know what? Yes, I've got time. Let me
Yes.
do this. And
Let's
we
do.
really look, you pop
Thank
on
you.
screen. You
Thank
pop
you.
on
It's a
screen.
Yes,
wonderful
most
series.
definitely.
Wonderful
Most
series.
definitely.
Thank you.
So let me start with your first question.
Mhm.
What ignited your passion for acting? I want to go in a little bit deeper.
Okay. I would say my first exposure to acting was probably in that fourth grade class where we were reading Shakespeare. And I remember looking at the characters and looking at, the teacher had said to us, you want to divide up and you want to take apart, you want to take apart, you want to take apart. And I mean, prior to that, like in my church, I sang in the choir, and we did
Hmm.
all
Hmm.
things here and there. But that experience of like having a script, looking at it and saying, it was either like Macbeth or I think it was Macbeth. And I said to her, I want to be Lady Macbeth.
Mm,
And that just, that experience of being somebody else, being in this
Mm.
universe, and I mean, Lady Macbeth, that's Lady
yeah.
Macbeth. So I was
Hmm.
like, that can be bad for a moment. But
I
yeah,
love that.
explore.
I love that you read that and were like, you know what? This sounds amazing because I was terrified. I read Shakespeare and I was like, I don't know what they're talking about. What are they
You're like,
saying? But you were just like, that's me.
yes,
That's
let's
for
do
me.
it. Let's do it. I was always that kid. Everybody else was like, oh, the English is hard. I was like, I want to do this. I want to do
Oh,
this. This is me right here. This character right here, that's me. And I remember reading it. I remember like my teacher's eyes lighting up because they were like, oh, this quiet little kid, at that time.
it's always the quiet ones.
Yes, and she started, boy, did she start something. And so I remember like it was for that moment in time, I was someone else. And I was
Mm.
really like, it was this
Yeah.
alter ego because other than that, it's kind of like, I did my
Hmm.
little thing. I played soccer outside. my friends did whatever. I'm pretty competitive and everything. So it's kind of like, okay, humdrum. But then this is that thing where it was like, oh, I'm a whole different person.
Yeah.
This
Mm.
person, there's this facet of her, that in real life would not be acceptable. You
Hmm.
gotta call him to kill him. Kill him, dog.
Yeah.
Handle
But
him.
in art, it is fully acceptable.
That's right.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that was it for me. I think that moment was kind of like where it was like, oh, this is nice. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you transitioned from theater, dance, and fine arts into film. So
Yes.
what was it about being on that film set
Yes.
that felt like love at first sight?
Mm.
I think there were so many things that I wasn't like there were so many new things that were kind of like ooh, ooh. I like the idea that one, maybe the biggest draw for me was that you would have at the end of that, you had something you can kind of hold on to. So
Mm,
in doing theater for years, you put your heart out on the stage. It's every night you rehearse.
Mm.
It's opening night, and you get from the audience that feedback that they love it, or the parts
yeah.
that don't land with them. And it's great, but it's a different thing, like for an actor, like when you leave the stage. I mean, you give it your all, really, and you're supposed to
Hmm.
leave it all there on the floor. And then some days you're like, I wonder if that joke, they didn't get that joke. I wonder if it was a disconnect. With film, you can kind of go back and look at it and you can be more objective and be like, oh, okay. So this here,
Mm.
this part of the dialogue, I could have put a little bit more into it. I could have done a little bit less there. And just good, bad, or the good, bad, or the ugly, you have
Hmm.
Mhm.
it so that you
Mhm.
kind of look back
Yeah.
at it, learn from it, or you have it to kind of like a little time capsule. You could say,
Right.
this is a piece of, the work that
Yeah.
I've done. And I would say the only thing in theater that you don't have that. You have the memories, you have the audience's reaction with you, which is kind of cool.
Right. Yeah.
But then sometimes at the end, you wonder, like a couple plays later, like, I wonder how,
Hmm.
they
Hmm.
really felt about this. Or what did the first opening night, actors are always, you're never satisfied.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Never satisfied as an actor. So
Yeah.
yeah, I like that being able to hold something. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's films. I just remember my time at the first. I was an extra, and I
Yeah.
was just like, this seems like a lot of time. There was a lot of wait time, and I was like, is this what actors do? What
Yes,
do
Hmm.
they do in
Hmm.
between? Like, I was like, oh my
totally.
God, and I'm just an extra,
Totally.
right? Like,
Totally.
they'll find
But
things to do.
something kind of neat too for me was when I went on that set for that film on Road Rage, I went on set as an extra because it was kind of like my first experience on, film. And I was like, okay, yada, yada, yada. And behind the scenes, watching the camera guys, that was magic for me. Watching actors,
Mm.
they're okay, run it this way again, run this line this way. That was kind of magic. But then I took it all in. I really enjoyed the process. a few months later, I get a message from the director, and he says to me, "Hey, listen, I wanted to call you back on set." I said, "Oh, did we need to reshoot something?" He said, "We did actually have a part. I'd like to know if I could have you come in." And
Wow.
Wow.
I mean, first of all, it was like a minute of silence where I was like, oh, oh. And he's like, "Are you still there?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm here." He's
Wow.
like, "I just want to tell you that, I enjoyed being on set with you. Your personality,
Mm.
it's like magic, and I really, really enjoyed your energy on set. I thought you had a lot of good ideas, a lot of thoughts and whatever, because I'm like, and
Yeah.
but I have this part that I have in mind. It's a little small part, it's not a big part, but would you mind coming back in? And I'll say,
Wow.
So
yes.
that goes to show you, and Naomi and I talk a lot about this, that when you're on set,
Mhm.
somebody's always watching.
Mm,
Mm.
yes.
You never
Yes.
know who.
Yep.
It
Yeah.
could be a PA or it could be the director or the EP. But
Right.
guess what? Even if that PA is watching, today they are PA. Tomorrow they could be a director.
Yes.
Say that.
Always.
Say that.
Always. Always.
So you should always have your A game, even if you
Absolutely.
Hmm.
are an extra. You are
Yep.
Absolutely.
still a vital component to that project.
To the storytelling.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
I tell new actors that all the time. I'm like, don't ever minimize your role on a set. And
Mm.
those relationships and who you are as a person goes a long
Mm-hmm.
way because even as a
Mm-hmm.
newbie on set, there are opportunities I was given because, I was a team player and it's like my one acting teacher said, believe me, like there are times where you be on set and the more pleasant person to be around is who will get that extra
Yes.
or
Right?
maybe consider for
Yes.
a line because nobody wants to be around a diva.
That part.
Yeah,
That part.
yeah, yeah. So I was like, okay,
No.
that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was really fun and that was exciting. That certainly helped. I was like, yes, this film thing's for me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
So, as we mentioned in your bio, you hail from Sierra Leone
Mhm.
as a first generation Sierra Leonean.
Leonian.
How does your culture, h- how does it help shape the stories you want to tell and the roles you choose to play?
Hmm. I think that I feel like I choose a lot of roles based on family connections because family and community is a huge part of who
Mm-hmm.
we are as the people.
Hmm.
I feel like my storytelling, whenever I'm a part of any project, I kind of want to know the dynamics of the family involved in it. Even my character, how I fit into that,
Mm.
my family, like how did that inform me, my character, where I'm at. I want to have stories told that are strong stories especially things that are connected to Africa or African American community, because I feel like sometimes we have this tendency in the US to say like, feel like, oh, life as an African or African American started with slavery. And I remember reading something one day and somebody was like, the life started before slavery
Come
for
on.
Hmm.
Come
Africans.
on. You better preach that word. You
Hmm.
better
Exactly,
preach that
exactly. So I'm
word.
like, that's one chapter in it. But
Right?
prior to that, there are these strong communities that were developed
Mm-hmm.
that,
Mm-hmm.
that their stories aren't told yet. There's this tenacity and this resilience that
Mm-hmm.
allowed African Americans to survive because of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's in their roots,
Yeah.
in our
Yeah.
roots. That's
Right.
that's the real story. Like,
Yeah, that's in our
what happened
DNA,
to
right?
us
Yes.
yeah, it's a real
Yes.
Yeah.
thing. And so
Yeah.
I connect with stories that are like, like I feel like telling the whole story, which is
Mm-hmm.
this is our strength. This is what we add to the mix. Whenever you have, somebody of color that's involved in something, it's like there's flavor. Flavor's coming with it. You can't
A little
separate
bit of
it.
Lowry's goes a long way.
Oh my God.
Listen, yeah. And those are the stories that excite me. When I watch film now and I'm like seeing Viola Davis, like when I watched The Woman King, and I was like,
Uh,
yes,
Oof.
this is
mm,
the story that I'm talking about. Because
mm-hmm.
those are the stories that resonate with me. Those
Yeah.
Hmm.
are the
Hmm.
women that I know. Those are
Yeah.
like, people like, oh, it's so nice to see you right now. I'm like, man, we've been doing this. Like,
Right?
the party. I'm glad to see it on the screen now.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
It's that thing where I say like these are the like my aunties and my like grandmoms and
Mm-hmm.
this is that's who they are. That's what we
Yeah.
Right.
you
That
know
resilience and yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oof.
it's exciting. It's an
Yeah.
exciting time to be in film for that.
Yeah. I,
I wanted to just follow up real quick with as you were talking, I was thinking about when you get roles that may not have a backstory, do you find yourself creating
hmm.
a backstory to help your character, or at least for you to play the role?
Yes, most definitely. I feel like I have to do it justice, even if that writer didn't necessarily see that the importance to kind of like give, like, oh, well, she's just I'm like, she's not just anything.
Hmm.
First of all, you're hard.
There's more to this woman.
It's like it's a 1 minute shoot, Ada. I understand.
Hmm.
However, my character had a
Right.
life before she stepped on the set for this 1 minute.
Right.
And I have to create that so I can connect to the character,
Yeah, yeah.
so I can do justice to that character so they're not
Hmm.
flat, so
Hmm.
I I give it my all. I give it this, like that dignity to that character, even if it's a character that I don't like or even connect.
Hmm. Hmm.
Hmm.
Sometimes even more importantly, I should have a
I was
Right.
strong
I was
backstory.
going to say, because if you don't like a character,
Mhm.
there has to be a redeeming quality that
Hmm.
connects you to that so
To
you
that.
can see why they're doing what they're doing,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Like the first, I would say the first TV thing that I did that was The Criminals of Work, that character is a real life person. I mean, I'm playing it was a reenactment of somebody else who in real life was kind of responsible for, collecting money from people whose family, loved ones had passed away. She was the manager at this funeral home or the site, but they had run out of bodies and I'm space for the bodies to be buried. And she's like, I'll just pile up, dig up the old graves and just pull them over there and
Mm.
I read the story. I remember the Dateline series covering that. I was like, oh, that's horrible. And I was like, as a woman, she was the. And then when I landed the part, ironically, because a friend of mine was the.
That's
Yeah,
funny. See
Then I
how
landed the part.
yeah,
see how like universe God just be working, just
it's
like,
really
yeah, you
crazy.
Hmm.
read that now. Now
Yeah,
you're
and
going to
I was like,
see
oh,
why she
Now you
did
won't
what she
see
did.
why she.
well,
Yup.
it was a lot of fun, a lot of
Yeah.
fun. But I had to think about that because the friend who was helping me audition said, "What are her redeeming qualities?" And I was like, "Oh Lord,
Hmm.
she's horrible, man." I was like, and she was, but she's got to have redeeming qualities. Everybody
Yeah,
Hmm.
everybody
has that
does.
Yeah.
part. We
Everybody
need to
does,
kind of
right?
look in. And I said, maybe
Right.
she didn't have, good upbringing. Maybe like this money was good, and so,
Hmm.
And initially, when I read the story, like she was helping the families out. She was very thoughtful. Families connected to her because she had a sweet personality.
Hmm.
Hmm.
She didn't have that before she went rogue. So,
Right, right. Because humans
and
are
then,
are have many different levels,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And we're not monoliths. So
yes.
I might be nice
Different
to you,
layers.
but somebody else might not
Mm,
think that I'm can take her, can't take
exactly.
tanker,
Cankerous.
Yes.
can't
Can't.
take
Can't. Yeah.
Yes.
yeah,
Can't.
Yeah.
that word.
Yes. That one. So it is, it's really interesting to like, be able to pluck that out and say, okay, well, what qualities did she have? Clearly she was a personable person. People trusted her and brought in
Yeah.
the money. And
Hmm.
even when there was suspicion and people were saying in real life, like, there's something weird going on. They're like, oh, Carolyn would never lead us astray.
Mm. Carolyn sure did.
She sure did. And I wondered when we're all finished, like, I hope if she sees this, she feels like I did her justice and doesn't.
Justice.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Yeah.
So motherhood and artistry, we know,
Mhm.
are demanding in their own way, right? You and I are both mothers, so we know this.
Yeah.
How has actively working toward your dream benefited your daughter?
Hmm. I would say, I mean, in the beginning, even like she used to do some short films and she did theater and
Oh, wow.
all the artsy kind of stuff because she's
Hmm.
my kid.
Yeah.
And as time went on, I think the demands for her of that, like when she would book a part, she'd be like, "Oh no, I got to memorize this line." I'm like, "Girl, it's a great line." And for her, the thrill kind of wore off a little bit. She's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
"I don't do it as much," but I do feel that me pursuing it the way I've pursued acting has really inspired her to pursue her goals.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But even when she started college kind of going into psychology or
Hmm.
psychiatry she was going to do. And then as time went on, she was like, I want to live my real me. Like I really want to, my
Oh.
first choice, if I had really didn't worry about money, whatever, is like I'd go into culinary. And I was like,
Mm.
and she's like, yeah. And she's like, And honestly, like I watch you and I see you do these things that, you say like, oh, if money were no
Oh,
object, I would do that. And she's like,
yeah.
so it's kind of neat to see her, go towards her passion and really pursue it. It's scary because like when she started, I was like, psychiatry is very solid.
Mhm.
Make some good money. And like everybody said when I was going into the arts, or
Mhm.
even when I wanted to do psychology, they're like, oh, if you were a doctor, I'm like, I understand.
Sand.
Yeah.
So I had to, like the little voice inside of me, I had to
Yeah.
hide
Yeah.
that and say, she's an artist. You're an artist. Like
Yeah.
you had people in your life that encourage you. Sure, you had people that
Mm,
were like, girl,
Mhm.
you'll never make money, but you
Mhm.
had those cheerleaders in your corner. Like you would be hypocritical if you didn't support
yeah.
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 her, pursuing her dream. And so, like, I was just saying a little bit to you before that she's worked really, really hard to get to where she's at, but she's happy, she likes
Mhm.
it. And I'm proud of myself because the inside voice is like, I need you to be the doctor then.
Yeah.
It's
So
the little girl, the
yes,
little girl voice that's
yes,
just like, you know
yeah,
what you need to do. Let
yeah,
that girl shine.
yes.
Let her
And I'm
pursue
glad
her dreams.
I allow that. I'm like, go ahead, girl, do you? I'm always going to be your cheerleader, no matter what you do. So I
Yeah.
That's
hope me
amazing.
living
Yeah.
out my dreams has really paved the path for her
Oh,
to,
I'm sure. I'm
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
So Ada, with the life that you've lived up to this point, with all you have experienced and all that you know,
Mhm.
what would you say to your younger self?
Oh, I love
Ooh,
What
this question.
advice would you give to your younger self?
to my younger me.
Hmm.
I like that. I like that idea of I think it would be to be bold. Um,
Mm,
be confident in your decisions, and go after what you want. Don't hesitate and overthink things.
Hmm.
Um, I remember like one of the few regrets in life I've had. Somebody asked me that a couple years ago, like, do you have any regrets? I'm like, no, not many, because I feel like, I need to do what I need to do. And if I don't take that opportunity, then say, okay, your fault. You should have pursued that and, and keep it moving.
Right,
Kind of
right.
tough on myself. But I remember like years ago when I was in high school, years ago, and I had an opportunity to go to France. I was picked from a group of students that like senior year, junior
mhm.
Hmm.
year,
Hmm.
our French teacher would pick the highest, the most able, like that spoke French pretty fluently. And so as a sophomore, I was selected. I was one
Wow.
of those two students to go. And I was like, oh, yeah, I was excited. But then I thought to myself, like, oh, no, no, I'm like a sophomore. The other person I'm going with is a senior. I don't belong in this, space. I speak
Mm.
French really confidently here, but if I'm in France, it's a whole different thing. I talked myself out of it. Literally, like the rest of the school is like, huh? And I remember like from the very moment that he left, that the one senior that left, nobody else joined him. It was just him. And when he came back, and I just kept kicking myself and kicking myself. And he said, it would have been so much better with you here. One, because
Hmm.
Mm.
much better than I speak. But he's like the experiences that I had, and I always remember that. I always remember that, I was in that position to take advantage of that. This trip was pretty much almost free. We stayed with,
Yeah.
Mm.
et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But that's what I would say to younger me is like,
Be bold.
get out
Yeah.
of
Be
your
bold.
head and just seize those opportunities.
Yeah.
Most
And
definitely.
we've talked, Annette and I have talked about that imposter syndrome where you're just like, I got this opportunity or this thing has come into play, but do I deserve it?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
and in our younger years, I believe a lot of us were just like, no,
Yeah. Mhm.
this can't be right. This can't
True.
be for me.
Yeah.
And so we let it pass. And I think being bold is it's something we should carry
Hmm.
throughout our lives, and
Yeah.
and to tell a younger person that, you know tell them now.
Yes.
Hmm.
Do it.
Like,
Hmm.
always be bold,
Yes.
always trust your inner self, because
Mm.
your inner self can never lead you wrong.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
you
also
know
if you're in a particular room, you're in that room because you're supposed to be in that
Supposed to
room.
be.
Mm. Yes. Yeah.
Say
So
that.
don't second guess it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
What you should ask is what do I need to do, or what is trying to emerge
Mhm.
within me while I'm in this space? Because
Mhm.
there's something for you to learn
Yeah.
when you're in there,
Mhm.
right? And everybody starts at some place. We don't all start at the top. There are things that we need to learn, and you're going to fall and you're going to embarrass yourself and
Yeah.
you're going to make somebody, laugh at you,
Mhm.
or, somebody's not going to be happy with you,
Yeah.
right? But still let that light shine as you learn all of those lessons.
Mm.
And
So,
know that 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 moment in time has guided your life
mm,
since then. So if
yes.
you didn't make that decision,
Yeah.
who's to say what your life may have been like? You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
kind of like, okay, I made that decision. I may regret it, or like, oh, I wish I had made a different choice.
Yeah.
But who would Ada be today?
Yeah,
Yes.
completely different, right? Like
Yep.
everything always works out,
Yeah.
Always works
it,
out.
it
Yeah.
works
Yeah.
out the way that it's supposed to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely say yes to things more like
Yeah,
because of that.
Yes.
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
I do.
right. And
Yeah.
that was a
Yeah.
learning, that was a lesson, like there are no failures, only lessons.
Yeah.
So,
Facts.
um,
Facts.
so what story or character that hasn't yet been told would you love to bring to life on screen?
Mm. I am I'm just salivating at the chance to do like an action movie. So
Mm.
yeah,
Ooh.
yeah. I need to
Mm.
my inner Viola needs to,
Yes,
she needs to be set
yes.
2020.
free. And yeah, and I was talking to a friend of mine who I've been writing this short. Well, it's probably going to be at this point a full feature by the time I get it done, but that's that role in there
Mm.
where I'm like, oh, if nobody else hires me for that, this is when I'm going to get a chance to do
Hmm.
this role. But it's that action
Mm.
figure that is, she's smart, she's witty, she's
Hmm.
working as a lawyer like daytime, but then at night, really, she's
She
just
jumps off roofs. Yes,
that's
yes.
her. So
Kicking butt, taking
that's the
names.
tomboy in me. That's the other
Right
side.
on.
Yeah,
Right
yeah,
on.
yeah. And so I feel
I
like
love that.
I'm compelled to put that on film because that's just a part of me. That's a part of me that I feel like
Yes.
is once that's on film, they're like, yes, this is a little snapshot of something people haven't seen, and they're gonna be like, oh,
Mm.
Ada, is
yeah.
that Ada? Yeah.
Chop it
Girl,
off that
do
roof.
that.
Yes, it is. In a cast the next week, but no.
It's okay. It's okay. Fun
That's
was
You did say
had.
be bold. You did
yes.
say
Right?
be bold.
Right?
So,
Right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
you have something to hold on to. So in 10 years after that, you can look
Yeah.
at that and be like, oh my God, I jumped
I did
off
that.
that roof in a tuck and roll. Okay. Okay.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I didn't
That's
have a chance.
wonderful.
There was one short that somebody was working on in DC, and we filmed like well, actually, it was an episode. It was a series that she was pitching, and we had two. I think we did three episodes, and she didn't get it finished up, but that was kind of a fun role. It was like little romance in the beginning, the little action, and I was like, oh, it has all the check boxes, and it never finished off. So that has had
Mm.
me
Mhm.
kind of like, I got to write one for myself. I got to
You
write.
Yeah.
gotta you gotta write it yourself,
Yeah,
right? You
Yep.
have
Yep.
to,
yeah,
when you get
Yeah.
that itch, you
yeah.
have to
Yeah.
you have to do it.
Yep. That's
Yes,
what Toni
Yeah.
Morrison said. Whatever
yes.
story you think is missing, you're the person to write it. So go ahead and
Yeah.
Yep.
write it. And I paraphrased on that. So just in
That
case anybody in the comment section like, she ain't say it like that.
that's not how
The
Tony said it.
sentiment
The same.
Oh,
aligned.
put a little flavor on it.
Yeah. A little Laurie's
Good.
on there.
I
Yes.
love it.
Yes.
Love it. Love it. Yeah.
All
So,
right. Let's jump into
yep,
our rapid fire.
rapid
Net, you wanna
fire.
Woo,
I
child.
will. Am I keeping time or am I asking questions?
you can ask questions.
I'm
Ain't
asking
nobody keeping
questions.
time.
Okay.
I'll keep internal time because I want to hear the answers to all these
That's
questions.
right.
Okay. So this is our rapid fire. Are you ready, Ada
All right.
Simbo?
I'm ready.
Okay. Question number one.
What?
Real Housewives of Atlanta or Married to Medicine?
Ooh, Housewives of Atlanta.
Yeah. Carrot cake or red velvet?
Carrot cake.
Ooh.
Carrot cake. Yeah, no, right?
That part. Would
Yeah.
you rather guest star in Scandal, Abbott Elementary, or Sisters?
Oh, man, that's tough. I'm gonna say sisters.
Ah,
Oh,
I told
I'm
you.
the sister
I
that was missing.
told you. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
I'm the sister that's missing. There was one.
Yeah.
Those are
Which
tough.
is the ultimate soul healing combo? A deep laugh, a church tambourine, or a cookout plate?
I'm gonna say a deep laugh. That laugh
Okay.
and laughter for the soul.
Yeah. Yes,
Deep
yes.
yes.
laugh. Yes.
Rice and Plasas or jollof rice?
Oh, oh, speaking to me, speaking to me. I'm gonna say rice and plasas.
Okay,
Oh,
Yeah.
Plasas.
I love me some
Yes.
jollof too, but it's something about that greens, man, that hits it.
it's
Sounds
always the
like
greens.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Sounds like
always
Ada's
you,
gonna need to make us some rice and Plasas.
Yes.
yes.
Um, Cash App, Venmo, or Zelle?
Ooh. I'm gonna say maybe Cash App for me.
Okay. Yep, me too.
Cash App.
Easier to
Um,
use.
I don't know why I use
yeah.
that last.
What's more stressful?
Hmm.
Parallel parking or assembling IKEA furniture?
IKEA furniture.
Always.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hmm.
Ada, it has been a pleasure not only
Oh,
seeing you again,
thank you.
but just spending this time with you and getting to know you and what drives you and your art.
Thank
Thank you
Yes.
so much.
thank you, ladies. It's
Thank you,
always
sis.
wonderful to see you.
Always. Oh my gosh. And
Awesome.
congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so
Yes.
much. Yes. Till the next time we see each
Till
other.
the
Till the
next
next
time we
time.
work
Yeah.
together.
Yes, that's
Yes.
exactly what I was thinking too. Got some
It's
ideas.
coming. It's
Thank
coming.
you so much.
All right.
All right. Have a
Bye,
good
sis.
one.
You
You too.
Bye.
too.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
Oh, what a great interview.
Oh my gosh, she's so
What a great
amazing.
interview.
So many things. So I choose roles based on family and connection. Love
Mm,
that.
yep.
Um, be bold. Um, and something she loves film because it's something at the end that you can like really hold on to and
Hmm.
share and look at
Hmm.
it a couple of months from now and see that work and revisit those feelings, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, imagine us 20 years from now, and just being able to sit back and go, oh, I remember that day or on set or looking at,
Hmm.
things we've done. And we're just like, oh my God, I
Yeah.
remember,
I mean, I think
how
we
crazy.
we do
We
that
do that
now with
already.
stages, you know? So it's like,
We do that already. But
yeah,
every production we've had, we
yeah,
always look back, right?
yes.
And remember those times. And regardless of how hard it may have been or any crazy stuff that went down or whatever, um, we're not only grateful, but just we always look at it in joyfully.
Oh yeah, because
Joyfully.
it to me it's a blessing to
It
be
is.
able to wake
It
up
is.
and do the very thing that I love to do
Yeah. Yeah.
and make a living.
Hmm.
Like,
Yes.
you know,
No.
thank you for joining
Yes.
us for a wonderful conversation.
Always. Always. Ada is, will always be
Hmm.
that girl.
That girl.
That girl. And if you enjoyed this conversation as much as we did,
Yes.
don't forget to like, subscribe to the Girl Co Media YouTube channel. We've got more dynamic Black creatives in media coming your way every month.
Yes.
So stay tuned.
See you guys next time. Be
Bye.
be great.